Hello and welcome to my world. I'm of course Fred Kasdan. As you know, 7 nights a week I stream live over on Twitch playing a variety of video games. The link to my Twitch channel can be found in the description below, as well as the link to my Stream Element store, where you can pick up some t-shirts and mugs based on some of the artwork and emotes that I've had made for my channel. This week we finished a couple of games, and there were some big things in terms of news and as relates to upcoming releases that certainly caught my attention. So I'm going to give my thoughts on a couple of different things in this week's commentary. First, on Tuesday this week, we wrapped up Super Mario Odyssey. I am surprised it only took me 4 nights dedicated to that particular game to finish it. From beginning to end, I found Odyssey to be a very enjoyable game, very approachable, and definitely allowed me to play it the way I wanted to. I was primarily using a Nintendo Switch wired controller, not the Joy-Cons, so which meant I didn't have access to all of the abilities that Mario has in that game. But even with that limitation, it certainly did not hinder me from, finishing it and getting through and picking up on all the patterns and realizing what movements are necessary based on what was available using the wired controller. If I did have one criticism on it, is the repetition of the boss battles as it relates to the Brutals and Bowser. Yes, the battles, the second time we end up facing all 4 Brutals, as well as Bowser, as well as the big brutal mother, are a little bit more difficult, but the patterns are essentially the same from earlier in the game. So it was kind of a little bit disappointing in that regard, but at the same time, very approachable. So because the Mario games, I believe, have the reputation is that they are designed in a way that anyone of any age can beat them, or at least have some success and be able to learn and pick up on what is needed to get done to finish the games. Now, on Wednesday, we wrapped up the Division 2's Warlords of New York DLC. Again, big thanks to Iceman for his Major League assistance in helping me through that. I found the end battle against Aaron Keener to be a little bit anticlimactic, primarily because, as Iceman pointed out, I managed to get a couple of foam grenades on Keener to hold him in place, which basically made it a lot more simpler than needed to be done. Granted, the story level difficulty for Division 2 isn't all that hard, but at the same time, it certainly, I can certainly see where there were definitely challenges and so forth, particularly just getting the Keener. There was some rather tough moments that were taking place. Now, we're placing these two games in the lineup next week. One is going to be a game we have played before, and another is going to be a game we haven't played before. The first is going to, on Mondays and Tuesdays, will be dedicated to Saints Row: Gat Out of Hell. We have played it before. We played the PC version before. But this go around, we're going to be playing the Xbox One versions. I should have a fairly easy time with that, and I will try to go for as much of a completion as possible for each and every stream. Some of it will probably involve a lot of off-stream gaming, because a lot of it is travel related in terms of flying and miles ran and so forth, and so a lot of that is going to take a lot of bit of time off stream. But it will be nice to actually 100% complete a game outright again. We as we did with Saints Row 4 Reelected earlier this year again. So that'll be very nice. Now, I do have Saints Row the Third Remastered, but I already had Gat Out of Hell installed on my Xbox One from the time when we got it earlier in the year. That's kind of almost been my approach to the Xbox One games I've streamed this year since getting the console at the end of February. Is basically I'm playing the games in the order which I got them and installed them. So we're working our way through that library I put together back in the spring. Now on Wednesdays we're also going to be doing an Xbox One game. It's going to be Gears of War 2. As most folks remember, the first Xbox One game I really streamed was Gears of War 4, and which I enjoyed. I went to that campaign solo, and and then back in the I think it was June it was either June or July. We took a couple breaks from the Division 2 to play the original Gears of War, and again, big thanks to Iceman for all his assistance in that, and of course we'll be teaming up again for Gears of War 2. So that should be an experience in its own right. Iceman says would definitely enjoy Gears of 2 a lot, considering I enjoyed Gears 4 and the original Gears already. I am definitely looking forward to it. Now, so those are the two big changes to the weekly lineup. The rest of the lineup is going to be the same next week, with Thursdays being Star Trek Online, Fridays dedicated to the story mode of WWE 2K20, Saturdays Twitch Sings, and Sunday Night Overwatch. Now, switching over to news that came out this week as it relates to the Nintendo Direct and the 35th anniversary of Super Mario Brothers. Probably the biggest thing for me that came out of the Nintendo Direct was the announcement for the Super Mario 3D All Stars. Again, remember, I've never played Mario 64, Mario Sunshine, or Mario Galaxy. I didn't have a Nintendo 64, Nintendo GameCube, and or a Wii. So the announcement that that's going to be coming out in a limited release definitely has my full attention. It's like maybe we'll go out of my way if we have the extra fundage. We'll see to pick that up. If those games play anything like Mario Odyssey in terms of having that same open-end approach that allows for me to play them the way that I naturally feel they should be played based with my mindset as it relates to games, I definitely will look forward to playing, or at the very least experiencing those games. There was a big charm with Mario Odyssey. Now I'm very curious to see if some of the older Mario games actually have. And not to mention, considering the Nintendo Switch's library for original first-party content is kind of on the light side with its exclusives. Re-releases of some of the older games and collections and so forth is something that definitely appeals to me, because I definitely think that the Switch in and of itself is going to be around for a fairly long period of time, as Nintendo actually announced, or at least I saw something this week that said that there's going to be a different version of the Switch coming out with some hardware improvements, and that Nintendo is definitely going all in because it is a console that people can take on the go. And its versatility, it just makes me think that Nintendo is really going all in on in what to do with it. Now, of course, as most folks notice and seem to notice with the pattern in terms of the clips here, that we've been doing a lot of fitness boxing this week as well as last week. I've definitely enjoyed setting up and doing the workout routine, and folks seem to enjoy watching me make a fool out of myself trying to punch in rhythm with this game, and my frustrations when movements are not exactly going the way I think they should be in terms of tracking. I don't know, and I kind of have a feeling as to why the tracking is such an issue. Is because, as you could tell, we definitely do the fitness boxing things in an angle, and I really have to consider what I will need to do or move around in my stream space to be more directly in front of the Switch, where it can probably track things a whole lot easier and give myself more movement, particularly as most folks saw when moving from left to right. Of course, the other big issue is the sequence and exercises that game makes me do. It makes it's just like how much it takes out of my legs, because ducking and weaving definitely involves a lot of things involving my knees in terms of bending and squats and shifting from side to side in that regard. So yeah. Let's see what else. Was there any other things that caught my attention? My interest in regards to the Marvel's Avengers game. I have some interest in that, but I kind of feel I am going to wait a bit. Probably wait for a complete release to see how much DLC ends up getting put out there, because as most folks know, with me with DLC with some major games, some stuff I've ended up putting off or have yet to do. Particularly in regards to Final Fantasy 15, I have yet to do any of the DLC related to that, because even though I already have it, but it is so. But from what I saw, Marvel's Avengers definitely looks pretty cool, and it looks like Square Enix did a great job with it. But it is going to be a game I'm going to hold off and wait until to see how much additional content ends up getting released, or characters. Of course, the big controversy was that Spider-Man was going to be a PlayStation exclusive, which pissed off a lot of folks, but here's hoping that there's going to be a character that's an Xbox One exclusive to compensate for it. As there are many characters in the Marvel universe that will make excellent exclusive on the Xbox side. I personally would say like maybe Dazzler should be the Xbox One exclusive, because Dazzler is so much better than Spider-Man. So, with that said, we'll wrap up this week's commentary. We'll catch y'all later. Hope all of you have a great week. If you prefer to see things live, be sure to swing over to my Twitch channel. Again, that link is in the description below. So until next time, tighten your friendship bracelets, watch your hang down, stay safe, and we'll talk to you next week. Bye.